Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever said no to something that you really wanted to do, but you ended up saying no because you knew you had something important to focus on? Maybe a plan with your friends, maybe a trip, maybe even a relaxed evening when everyone else was going out. And in that moment, you just say to yourself, it's okay, I'll do it later. People often say something like, if you want something big in life, you must sacrifice a lot. And everyone nods, like, yeah, it's obvious. But what does sacrifice actually look like? Because when we hear the word sacrifice, we imagine it must be something very dramatic. But in real life, it is actually something very simpler. It shows up as small decisions, where or in the moments where you choose one thing over another. Let me give you an example, real quick. Right before my examination, all of my friends went to theaters, watch a movie that I really wanted to watch, in theaters specifically. And at that time, I knew I needed to focus, so I said no, I won't be going. And right after the next day, my sister went to watch the same movie the next day only, and she also asked me to join her. And again, I had to say no. So for 2 days straight, I saw or watched people enjoying something that I really wanted to do while I was sitting with my books in my room. Now, there is actually an economical term for this, and the term is called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost simply means that whenever you are choosing one thing, you are simply giving up another thing. Every decision carries a hidden trade off. Choosing one path means you have to let go another path. And this happens constantly in our life. So, if you choose to relax tonight, you are sacrificing the progress that you could have made on something important. And if you choose to work on your goals, you might be sacrificing a fun evening with your friends. And if you choose discipline, you sacrifice some comforts. And if you choose comfort, you sacrifice progress. And that's the strange reality of life. You are constantly deciding which trade off makes more sense in the current scenario or current moment. Because the truth is, you cannot have everything at the same time in life. You can only choose what is more important or what matters more right now. And sometimes those decisions are uncomfortable because your brain will always try to convince you to choose the most easiest option. It will always say, like, I'll just do it tomorrow, or it won't matter that much. But you making repeated small decisions consistently can only shape the direction of your life. Now, there's another one thing that people rarely talk about. Life rarely goes exactly to the plan that we make in our head. We imagine everything happening step by step. First, this will happen, then this will happen, and then everything will fall into the places. Newsflash: life does not always cooperate with our timeline. And then things happen that we did not plan at all. For example, 2 months right before my final examination, I had my breakup after a 3 years of relationship. At that time, it felt like everything was collapsing together. I had failed in my June attempt in CS examination as well. So it just felt like nothing was working for me. In that moment, I genuinely felt like I would not be even able to show up for what was coming next in future. It led to a lot of self questioning. You start blaming yourself, you start questioning yourself and blaming yourself, thinking that you are the reason why things didn't work out as you expected it to be. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it. But here's the reality: life just doesn't pause because things are not going in your way. Things won't go according to your plan every time. You don't win every day, and that is okay. Sometimes life moves into a direction that we didn't expect it to be, and that does not have to stop you. that can simply be a part of your journey. But the most important thing is that life has its own way of rearranging the things. Not immediately, not in the way we expect it to be, but in its own way. Later, when we look back, things start to make more sense. So instead of expecting life to go according to your own plan, the better approach is to focus on what we can control, and that is the small decisions in your life. Choose your priorities carefully. Because while we cannot control every situation in our life, the only thing that we control is how we respond to it. And those responses, small, ordinary decisions, will shape the direction of your life. Let me ask you one question. What something have you had to say no to in order to focus on something important in your life? A plan, an opportunity, maybe comfort? Because the truth is, every single person who is trying to build something meaningful in life is constantly making these silent trade offs in life. You just don't always see them. And maybe sacrifice is not the price that we pay for success. Maybe it's simply the evidence that we care about something enough to choose it again tomorrow.